Hello, Cherie Hansen here. Yes, went to the hairdresser yesterday, and I'm embracing going gray, but I'm going to do it my own way, as you can see. I wanted to talk today when I was downloading what was important to talk about, what came to me, was the question of how in love are we with our future self. Let me explain that a little bit. There is something that happens to your heart. You know, it's kind of like open heart surgery. Your ribs are ripped apart and you just feel totally open and grateful and expansive and what I call fuzzy. This fuzzy feeling, like you break out in an Angora pelt or something, because you just feel so full of warmth and love for another person. Or it could be your pet, or it could be your garden when you have worked really hard on it and it just looks beautiful. And we are in a time that's very rapidly changing. There's a lot of disagreement about what reality we're living in. Some people are saying, you know, it's the end of the universe and we have to have more control and, you know, let's not take care of the environment. We need to have more money in our pockets, or let's really double down on taking care of the environment because we're all going to die. I mean, we may disagree, but we'll all be in the same pot with the water heating up more and more, making human soup. And when you're in a place of such great confusion, the good part of that is it makes you stop and examine your own values, your own internal compass, your own sense of what is the correct decision or the correct behavior for you. It drives us back into ourselves. That's the good part of what's going on right now. In the olden days, gather around, children. This elder will tell you about the olden days. There was no need to make so many choices based on ethics. When the Korean War was going on, we all just assumed it was a good thing to be fighting. And then in the cohort I was in, you know, you have this herd of buffalo and they're all clumped together, grazing on the truth that you're being fed. We came to Vietnam War, and the Vietnam War was one that really started to cause a fracturing, a schism in the way that we viewed the world. If our country went to war, it was good. Now we're going, no, that's not good, because people are going into villages and they are fire bombing, destroying huts with people in them. It's not a good thing. And it's kind of like an earthquake. You know, there's this big crack. And then as we've gone along over the decades, the cracks have been spreading out more and more to the point where our sense of reality is so spectacularly different than other people's. It's like you went to a movie theater and it's got 7 different movies playing. And you go into one and, it's going to be a war movie. You go into another and it's going to be a romantic comedy. You go into another and it's going to be a documentary. And then people come out of the theater and they say, the movie that I watched was this. And the other one said, that's not true. That's not a true movie. I saw a documentary. And so we start to push back on other people. We start to try as best we can to get validation for our own movie that we saw. I had this experience. You have to validate it. And the thing is, we're missing the point when we get into those fist fights with other people about what is right or what is wrong. It's never going to happen from outside of you. The validation will never come from outside of you. Where you can focus, which is so effective for growth and for calming down, is fall in love with your future self. Think of yourself in 3 months or 6 months or a year or 5 years. What do you want to do for that person? Do you want that person to be more fit? Do you want that person to be more fabulous? Do you want that person to, oh God, don't even talk about it, wear color when they go out the door? Do you want that person to be smarter, to know more about science, to know more about themselves? I think the biggest thing I have realized over the last year is I was not given skills when I was growing up. I didn't know how to manage my body. I didn't know how to manage my finances. I didn't know how to manage my relationships. The only way I knew to learn anything was just copy the behavior of my parents, my teachers, my cohort. And oh my God, is that a bad idea? That way lies destruction. Let's all drink and eat cake and, sit for hours and buy stuff even though our visa is up high, and drive around in a really fancy car, and then people will think we're not ghetto, And so what I have been focused on is understanding what I didn't understand. And that's the nut. That's where the real nutrition wisdom lies. What is it that I didn't understand? I didn't understand that other people aren't on earth to validate me in my insecurity. I didn't understand that mindlessly doing what other people were doing would make me feel more secure in myself and would sabotage me. And that's the hook. That's the hook right there. So, one exercise that is really, really good to do at this new year. Spring is here, a new beginning is here. All of the astrology is 3 hits of light are coming in, which are going to transform us. And we are going to have this vast amount of energy just shooting through us. Some of you may be having trouble sleeping right now. Some of you may feel kind of confused. You're just all clear and focused, and then for a moment you just go, like, where am I? What was I doing? And just accept that that is part of the process that's going on right now. But what you can do, if you want to talk about control of your existence, is have a really clear vision of who you're becoming. I have been becoming healthier since I was in my 60s. I have been becoming more fit. I have become a person who can manage her finances better, not struggle with it, not cycle in and out, have a steady habit method of dealing with money. It's not going to buy me love. It's not going to buy me status. It's not going to buy me joy. It just won't do that. The other thing that I think I have really committed myself to is the idea that who I am right now and the way I do things right now is the best I can do for right now. But as I grow, as I become wiser, it's going to get easier and it's going to get better. So this is a suggestion I have for the vernal equinox, for this new moon, for spring. Look how many beginnings we have. Is sit down and write a love letter to your future self. Make a promise. I promise I will take care of my body. I will get more sleep. I will drink more water. I will build myself up for you, future self. I will take better care of my money. I will stop sabotaging myself. And when a negative thought comes up, it's just time to flip the switch. So the practice of seeing a negative thought, seeing it arising, and just saying, oh, well, that's the way the world is. No, I have a future self I'm in love with, and the future self is not going to walk around with anger, frustration, quivering over what might happen next. The future self is going to be focused on shining out, helping the world by being happy inside. So that's the message for today. Sit down, write a love letter to your future self, make some promises to who you're becoming, and understand that we need to get rid of the past. We need to get rid of the guilt and the shame and the sense that we have to rely on other people to put the food on our plate of concepts and then we're just going to chew it and take it in. Nope, not going to do that. I am a separate entity. I am in a movie theater that I am projecting the movie on the screen. It's me. I'm projecting it. And I do not need to be validated from outside of me because I am whole. I am whole in who I am. And that's what we're working for. A sense of peace inside ourselves. Thank you so much for subscribing, for watching, for liking, for your comments. I am so grateful. I am so encouraged to keep sending my downloads out into the world because it feels like it's kind of turning on lighting a few candles out there. Just light a few candles. Happy spring. Happy equinox. New moon. Yes, we've got this. We are in love with our future selves. We are committed to that entity. Do contact me if you want a psychic reading, you want a channel reading, you want to draw up a contract with your future self, and I can help, I can guide you there. If I am your coach, you can do it any way you want. It can be, like I'd like to see you once a week, or I'd like to see you once. There's no obligation. I don't expect you to get addicted to me. Oh, God help. Don't. Anyway, I have to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you.